the most optimal opportunity to sense yourself. Because that's the practice you engage in awareness through movement. This whole practice of directing your attention to the experiences that you are within your skin. And if that means moving yourself about every now and then so that you're not distracted by noxious sensations, well, that's what you do. You move yourself around every now and then. So intentionally practice this notion of creating the best circumstances that allow you to pay attention to yourself. And now bring your awareness to the sensations of your face. And notice, what are the most prominent sensations that you're experiencing there right now? And are there any differences in sensation between the right-hand side and the left-hand side? Perhaps one side of the face feels more plump, full, sort of more thick, the other side less so. Perhaps one side of the face feels more warm, the other one less so. And maybe some of those differences, those distinctions that you're making, don't necessarily have to do with right and left. Maybe they have to do with top and bottom. The top of your face being towards the crown of your head, the bottom of your face being towards your chin. And if we're going to get a little bit more specific, you could start to pay attention to the differences in sensation that you feel around your right eye and around your left eye. And the differences in sensation that you feel between the right side of your mouth and the left side of your mouth. And the left cheek and the right cheek. And because we share a similar language, I'm able to articulate these words to you: eyes, nose, cheek, jaw. Is there a difference between the sense of the right side of the jaw to the left side of the jaw? So language isn't this trivial thing. It's necessary to communicate. And now keep paying attention to those sensations and feel what happens differently when this environment appears. So when the world around you changes, here we go. When the world around you changes, does the perception of yourself change? And those of you who have been parents and have looked after your little ones, you know that you have their best interest at heart. You try to create a scenario, a life for them that allows them to flourish. But sometimes we don't consider all the possibilities. And this lesson is about considering this possibility of how is the way that we've learned to use our eyes affected by our early movement experiences before we were even able to look into the distance, while our anatomical vision was still pretty close, proximal to ourselves, just beyond our lips, but that's all. So if you haven't done so already, could you please close your eyes? And in the act of closing your eyes, notice the quality of the closure. If you were in bright sunlight, the quality of that closure would be quite different to being in a darkened room. This is something to really note when you leave today, how the world around us changes the way we move and use our eyes. And with both of your eyes closed, with the quality that allows you to sense your movement, start to move your eyes to the right and then return to the middle. And do only that. Move your eyes to the right and return to the middle. Do not pass go. In other words, don't go past middle. Don't take them to the left, but just take them to the right and return to the middle. Please continue doing that and notice your pacing. How many times have you already taken your eyes to the right? So if you're trying to create conditions where you're able to sense what's going on, what pacing do you need to use that will allow you, give you more time to feel how you're moving your eyes? That's the pacing you want initially. Now bring your eyes to the middle, wherever you happen to think that is. Bring your eyes to the middle and think to yourself that behind those closed eyes, you can have a center, which is basically your pupils, the blacks of your eyes. And think of your pupils as you take your eyes to the right and return to the middle. And note that when you take your eyes to the right, the pupils of your eyes go towards more or less the corners of your eyes. The right eye goes towards the right corner, the outside corner of the eye, and the left eye goes towards the inside corner. That side, that corner that's closest to the bridge of your nose. And for the next few moments, could you just simply track the movement of your right eye? Think, consider the pupil going to the corner of that right eye, the outside corner, and then returning to look forward. And is what you're experiencing in your movement, is it flicky? Is it a constant movement? Is it a steady movement? Is it smooth? Is it jumpy? And keep paying attention to the movement of your right eye. Let that be in the foreground of your awareness. And in the background of your awareness, behind the scenes, so to speak, sense if there's anything else happening as you take that eye to the right and come back to the middle. So do you sense any tendency for the head to follow or for the head to be moved? Do you sense any change in contracture or tension in the muscles of your neck? Do you sense any change in your breathing when you take your eye to the right and bring it back to the middle to look forward? So yes, your eye is your primary focus, but you're finding out how the act of moving your eye relates to the rest of yourself. And this is a very particular way of using your attention. Sensing a detail within the context of a whole. The whole of yourself, your entire being. Now, return your right eye to the middle and just pause for a little while. Just let yourself rest. And even in this act of pausing, notice that there's a place that your eyes settle to. When you're no longer engaged in moving your eyes, how do your eyes settle? Where do the pupils go? And I'm only mentioning the pupils because that's a part of the eye that's very, very distinct. We kind of visually can recognize, that's a place that I know, and I can gauge where my eye is moving because I know where the pupil is more or less going. Now, intentionally look forward of yourself with both eyes and notice, where do the eyes go? Where do the pupils go when you look forward of yourself? Have they changed position? And that's like a little clue as to where your eyes were resting just a moment ago. So now stop looking forward of yourself, just stop and let the eyes settle again. Where do they go? Do they roll upwards towards your eyebrows? Do they roll downwards towards your cheek? Do they roll out to the sides? Where do the eyeballs go when you're not using them for anything? And now, with both eyes, intentionally look forward of yourself. Where did they move from? And now, once again, move both of your eyes to the right and then return to looking forward of yourself. Do that several times and notice, has something changed in the quality of the movement? Have you intentionally varied some aspect? Have you decided to make the movement a little smaller, a little larger, a little slower? And keep doing that movement of looking to the right and returning to the middle, but now have all of your attention on your left eye. And as you look to the right, behind your eyelids, your left pupil goes towards the inside corner of that eye, towards the bridge of the nose. Can you sense that? And now spread your awareness throughout the rest of yourself and notice, how does this movement of the left eye have an effect on the rest of yourself? Your head. Is there even the faintest little glimmer of the head wanting, going, moving with the eye? Or maybe a change in pressure in the shoulders, a change in experience in the neck. For some of you, you might even feel it right down into the legs and feet. And now please continue moving both eyes to the right as you're doing, and include both of your eyes in your awareness. Great. Leave that alone and rest yourself. Refresh yourself in any way you like, lying on your back, lying on your side, sitting, however you like. It's fine. So what some of you might have realized already, that the light distribution in this room is not even. There are some parts of this room that have got a lot of light streaming in, and some of you are in that light stream. And some of you are actually not in that light stream at all. You're in a very darkened place of the room. So each of your visual experiences is slightly different to one another's, which is quite different to the way we usually illuminate our world, right, with lights everywhere. And, you know, when you're a little baby growing up and that your nervous system is growing at such a rapid rate, little discrepancies in stimuli coming from the environment have the potential of creating a big impact. So, you know, so where your cot was in relationship to the window and where light was streaming from, where your parents placed your toys, which side of the room your parents entered the room from, these made a difference. And you could say that these differences are quite fundamental in terms of your movement below the radar, influencing you in ways that are not necessarily available to your conscious experience. And we want to get to that a little bit so that you could start to reform your visual habits in a way that is more satisfying to you rather than just coming out of your past history. Now, if you need to bend your legs and stand your feet, you can do that, but please return to lying on your back. And still with your eyes closed, move both of your eyes to the right and stay there. Just simply stay there and feel, what's it like to remain with your eyes to the right? Have you gone so far with your eyes to the right that you can feel them quivering, and it's the first little glimmers of effort that you're feeling? If that's the case, back off a little bit. Return your eyes to the middle. And now do that again. Move both of your eyes to the right, just enough that you know that they're to the right, but there's no sense of having to will yourself to stay there. But you're staying there. And from this place of both eyes being to the right, move your eyes as if to look downwards a little bit in the direction of your feet, and then move both eyes upwards a little bit as if to look towards the eyebrow. And do that several times. Just a little bit up, a little bit down. Up and down relative to your own body, not relative to the room. And begin to expand on that a little bit. As you move your eyes up, notice, is it a straight line that they move in, or is it a little bit of a curved line? And to facilitate that distinction, just bring all your attention across to your right eye. So there's your right eye going towards the right-hand corner. And as you look up, does your eye go up a little bit and then return a little bit towards the middle? And when you look down, does your right eye go a little bit down and go towards the middle? Is there a little arc that you're making with your eye? Why don't you actually do that intentionally? You start to look up and then you arc your eye a little bit upwards and towards the middle, and then you return to the corner, and then you start to look down and you arc the movement of your eye a little bit downwards and towards the middle. And go back and forth like that. And when you feel confident in yourself that you can maintain your awareness on the movement of the eye, then expand your field of awareness to include, is there something happening with your head as you move your eye in this little arc? And if it's possible for you, expand the range of that arc so that you return that right eye almost right to the middle. And then you go back again to the corner, and then you arc all the way to the middle and you return to the corner. So basically your pupil would be circling, or not circling, but going around the right hand perimeter of your eye. Your eye socket. And still with your focus on your right eye, check out what your left eye is doing. So this is a skill that you will be learning throughout the training. The ability to have a particular detail in mind and still have your awareness broad enough, spread enough to see what's happening in the background. Bless you. Please let that be and rest. So anatomically speaking, the muscles of your eyes are some of the most finely controlled muscles in the body. You have a great deal of refined movement in the two eyes, in the 6 muscles that move the eyes, and in the intrinsic muscles that change the focus of the lens. But if your eyes stopped moving, you would stop seeing. So there's something about movement of the eyes and seeing that is intimately connected. Without movement, there is no seeing. Please return to lying on your back. Look forward of yourself with your right eye. And from this middle position, start to move your right eye a little bit downwards in the direction of your cheek and your feet, and a little bit upwards in the direction of your eyebrow and forehead. And this is a very different position of your eye to having your eye at the right-hand corner. So note, what's the difference in sensation here? Please continue this investigation and find out what is the smallest movement you can make with your eyes going up and down that you can detect. And then contrast that with the largest movement that you can make. So make a big movement of your eye to move it up, move it down, and note the difference in quality between the two. And now move your eye through a range that feels absolutely easy to you. Without a doubt, undoubtedly easy. So that you're not going to a place where your eyes are having to make an effort to get to. And the next time that your right eye is up, stay with the eye up, and from there begin to circle it around to the right towards the outside corner of that eye, and then return. And do that many times. So you move your eye so that the pupil is looking up, and then from there you go around to the right, around to the right, around to the right, to the outside corner, and then you return, you return, you return. And just simply note, what parts of that journey are smooth? What parts of that journey are jumpy? What parts of that journey do you lose total awareness of what's happening? And what parts of the journey are you absolutely there, witnessing, knowing what your eyes are doing? And now return that right eye to looking forward of yourself and begin to investigate the other direction. So move your right eye downwards to look downwards. And then from there, go around, around, around to the outside corner, and then come back, come back, come back to looking downwards in the middle. And do that many times. And you can feel in yourself if you've taken the range of movement too far. You'll recognize that quality. And you can back off to a place that you recognize as being easy. And now bring your right eye to looking forward again. And let yourself rest. So there are creatures in this world that have no eyes. If you look at the diversity of creatures that inhabit this planet, there's a whole bunch of living beings, if you like, that have no need for eyes. And they have no need for eyes because they live in an environment where there is no light. And if there's no light, there's no need for eyes. So the way your body and my body and our bodies, our form, our morphology comes about is through a dynamic interaction between us and the world, the environment at large. Which means the world has an effect on us. And if we can extend our awareness to noting the effects that the world has on us, then we're also better placed to make different kinds of choices about how to interact with the world. So from the deepest parts of our biology to the most personal parts of the choices we make, it's a relational event. Please return to lying on your back. Close both of your eyes. Have your attention on your right eye. Take your right eye to the outside corner. Know that you're there. And know that you're there with a quality that you can work with. And from here, start to move the pupil of your eye all around the circumference of the orbit of your eye. So from the right-hand corner, start to go a little bit down towards the base of the eye, and then from there go around to the inside corner of the eye, and then from there go up towards the top part of the eye near the eyebrow, and then finally returning back to the corner of the eye. And go at a pace where you feel you can sustain the activity, where you won't disturb yourself too much, because if you go too fast, there's a great chance of disturbance. And the thing is, each one of you will have a different rate where you feel, okay, I can go this. There's no one constant speed for all of us. And I'm saying this to you now because in a few moments' time, I'm going to ask you to go faster. And please regulate what fast is. It doesn't have to be your absolute fastest. It just means a little faster. So go ahead and do that. Circle your eye a little faster. And as you do that, can you have the sensations of the head and the neck and your shoulders in mind? The feelings in your tummy, your breathing? Because feelings of disturbance will register in different parts of yourself for each one of you. So can you stay in that place that allows you to keep sensing yourself, but without anything noxious appearing? Now change the direction of your circling. Go around the other way. Notice if there is a tendency for the head and the neck to somehow become involved. And me making those kinds of comments is always kind of tricky. I'm not trying to suggest to you that they should be involved, but somehow I need to direct your attention. So please don't think when I say, ask you those questions, is there something else involved, that I'm wanting something from you? I'm not. It is literally a question. Bring your right eye to the middle. Stop. Rest. And as you're resting there, pay attention to the after effect, the after sensations of what you've been doing. If you carefully note the sensations that you feel on the right-hand side of your face, and then contrast those sensations with those that you experience on the left-hand side of your face, is there a difference? And could it be that the after effect goes through you more than just within the face? Is there an after effect between the right-hand side of your chest and the left-hand side of your chest? Is there a difference there? Is there a difference in the way you experience the left-hand side of your abdomen and the right-hand side of your abdomen? The right leg and the left leg? The right side of yourself and the left side of yourself? So still with your eyes closed, could you slowly make your way to standing? Take your time. Don't be in a hurry. Still with your eyes closed. And even with your eyes closed like this, could you start to actually turn your body in such a way that you know inside yourself that the light is coming from the right-hand side of you? Those of you that are in the darker parts of the room, it's a more subtle sensation, but notice notice what it feels like to search. So even behind the skin of those eyelids, you can tell where that light is coming from. And whether it's coming from the left or whether it's coming from the right. And now slowly, 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 not suddenly, open your eyes, but not fully, just like you've just woken up and you know that's kind of just looking underneath the eyes and you've just woken up. And notice how much more the light affects you now with the eyes open. And now, once again, with eyes open, could you make an adjustment where you definitely know the light is coming from the right-hand side of you? And given that there's two major light sources in this room, you have to choose which one, the brighter or the softer. Now, this business that you're engaged in right now of orienting your whole self to a particular stimulus in the world is something that we do from the very first day we are born to the very last day of our lives. Yeah, without orientation, none of us could survive. So just to let you know, I'm about to turn on the lights. And when I do so, please feel free to go for a little walk throughout the room.